Good morning, folks. Let me adjust the camera a little bit. Today is February 1st, 2024. We'll continue our morning Tanya study for about 10-15 minutes, maybe less, before Shakrit. It's about 5 minutes to 6, supposed to be 5:45. But again, the evil inclinations, the bad inclinations, Yetzirah told me this morning, stay in bed again. And I fooled it. I said, I'm going for a cup of coffee and we'll be back in bed. A cup of tea, go back to bed. So Yetzirah accepted that and went to bed, sleeping now. And I got here. So welcome to our class. And by the way, thank you for all the guys and lady, hi, that came today. We have a lot of people sitting in the audience. So we're going to do a quick, we finished introductions in our practical Tanya, Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Eliadi, as narrated by Chaim Miller, Rabbi Chaim Miller. Wonderful book. And many people, you have a copy? You have a copy too? Yeah, some people have copies. That's great. So follow. We're now beginning a section 1. It's a chapter 1 of the 53 chapters, and a section 1 of that. And basically, it talks about 5 types of personalities, or 5 types of souls. Tzaddik, incomplete. Complete tzaddik, Rasha, the bad person, and complete Rasha, incomplete or complete Rasha, that's 4, and Benoni, in between. So the book, Tanya, goes through the analysis. What is incomplete? What is this Benoni? Well, the tzaddik does good things. The Rasha, the bad person, does bad things. Well, the complete tzaddik is naturally inclined. His soul is inclined to do good things. And the incomplete tzaddik also does everything good. But he has to struggle. He has to overcome his evil inclination. He doesn't naturally repulsed from seeing something wrong, from doing something wrong. He is not naturally repulsed against it. He has to make an effort to control himself. On the surface, incomplete tzaddik and complete tzaddik appear to people as the same. They're tzaddik. They don't know what internal struggles do they have. And the same thing for Russia. The real bad Russia, that's just Hitler, would be a real bad Russia. But incomplete Russia is kind of, he knows it's wrong, but he can't help it, so to speak. He's trying to, I want to get up in the morning, but then, maybe not a good example, but then I want to sleep because it's good for me, I get extra rest, I really don't have much time, I didn't get enough sleep. Well, so you still, and I come to shul later, he comes to half the services, something like that. So, anyway, and they asked Rabba, Abai once talked to Rabba, and Rabba said to him, I'm in Benoni, in between. So, Tanya is asking, what's in between? Sometimes you do good things, sometimes you do bad things. Well, I helped the old lady cross the street, but then in my store that I own, I sold something for $100, which only worth $50. That wasn't bad. Well, I mean, today I did 7 good things and 5 bad things. So overall, I tend to be on the good side. But tomorrow, something opposite will happen. So I'm not bad, I'm not good, I'm kind of... That is not what Tanya considers it in Benoni. Because obviously, Rabbah could not call himself. He was asked, who are you? He said, I'm Benoni. So that's Rabbah did. So Tanya will go through analysis of what is commonly known as classical questions: why good people suffer. And of course, I think we all know that. I think Kabbalah Zohar goes through the analysis that is a tzaddik suffers, a good person suffers, maybe because is in his reincarnated state, he is still replaying the things that he didn't do in his previous life. Very esoteric, strained analysis, if you will. Or so that they say, or another rule is his parents were bad, he is good, but he still suffers because he has to flush out the system, the universe has to flush out, the God has to flush out the transmission of the bad through the generations. And if his father was good, and he is good, and he doesn't suffer. If his father was bad, and he is good, he'll still suffer. His father was bad, and he is bad, that's really a big problem for him. So there's several theories to explain why. And another theory is because it's also esoteric, Kabbalistic theory, I think, that if you don't suffer in this world, you're not going to get your full reward. There's a certain measure of sufferings and good things that a person has to combinely to get in this world and another world and in the previous world, so that you have to experience all. And if a person doesn't experience suffering, then he didn't complete his full circulation over a recycling cycle that God intended the universe to become. So he suffers here, so that the next world he is complete pleasure, complete absence of pain, and absolutely good. So somebody didn't suffer at all, according to this theory. That's not good. Next world will not be as perfect to you as it could have been if you did go through suffering. So there are many theories. I only mentioned 2 or 3 or 4, but there's a whole bunch of them. But Tanya takes all this briefly and dismisses them all, and comes to the idea that that it's certain characteristic of the soul. How does Tanya states that? I want to find here. Dismissing the various possible interpretations, the Talmud finally explains that the worldly fortune or misfortune of a tzaddik is actually a reflection of his or her inner perfection. The tzaddik, Tanya says, who has it good in this world, enjoys a fortunate life because he or she is totally righteous. The tzaddik who is bad in this world suffers misfortune because he or she is not totally righteous. And then, of course, we'll continue going and analyzing why is one person is totally righteous and another one is not. Is it a freedom of choice? How do we get to this point? Are some souls, later on Tanya will say, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, that the fully, totally righteous tzaddikim are not evolution of the soul to become better, although it's a good process to overcome, to undergo. But God sends that perfect tzaddik, and there's very few of them in every generation, but they exist. They're totally righteous. God has a reason to send this soul already in that state. I'm not sure, I don't remember if Tanya said the same thing with a totally bad. In other words, did the soul of the Hitler was sent in the world already with an intent to be totally Russian, totally bad? Or did he become like that over a period of time of his own evolution on the earth after birth? That I don't know. That we'll probably discuss later. It will be nice. Anybody has any comments on that? No? Well, we'll get to that as we study, maybe tomorrow or the next couple of lessons. So that is the Benoni, the person in between. Even an incomplete tzaddik, difficult comparison between incomplete tzaddik and complete tzaddik, difficult to analyze. Then, and similar approach will be complete Russia and incomplete Russia. In between, it's another layer of the unclarity for us to understand. But it's interesting to focus on comparison between complete and incomplete tzaddik. Again, they make maybe a silly example. The incomplete tzaddik is the guy who is very pious, very good. He walks down the street, he sees a beautiful woman, he kind of attracted to her, but he averts his eyes, he tries not to look, because he knows he looks, he'll have like bad thoughts. So he is not doing anything bad. Katva Khalila, he wouldn't even talk to her, he would not approach her, he'll try to stay away, he knows it's wrong, and he is a tzaddik, he doesn't do that. That's incomplete tzaddik. Complete tzaddik, if by chance his eyes will fall on this lady, it will be repulsive, revolting to him. He'll feel bad even of that. Not because he has some bad inclinations toward this lady, but because to him it's just like, it's not even his psyche to think about that. It's bad. So when a complete tzaddik encounters something bad, it just bothers him. His soul can't stand it. He's out of his element. Incomplete tzaddik is not completely bothered. He's against it, but his soul doesn't really revolt against it. He doesn't have the spiritual vomiting from seeing something bad. He just avoids that. He makes an effort. He suppresses his bad Yetzer Hara inclination, but he doesn't lack the bad inclination. The complete tzaddik, very few of them in the universe, lack the ability in his soul to be attracted to something bad. He just lacks this ability. It's not to him. And if he comes across that, he just revolts. He can stand it. Incomplete tzaddik, it doesn't bother him. He was in this presence. Well, it bothers him, but he bothers him because he knows that is wrong. For complete tzaddik, the whole idea that it is wrong, it's just not there. He can stand it. That's a complete tzaddik and incomplete tzaddik versus and complete Rasha, incomplete Rasha. Similar idea. I guess complete Rasha will be the guy who kills people and he enjoys it. The guy who is incomplete tzaddik may be mafia guys. He knows that it's not the right thing to do, to kill people, but he does it, he makes a living, and he is having, I guess in nowadays people talk about atrocities that Gaza, the terrorists committed. They enjoy doing. They enjoy killing people and raping women and mutilating their bodies. They enjoy that. There's nothing wrong with that. The incomplete Russia maybe will be German SS soldiers who also committed horrible atrocities. But they say by the end of the day they will get drunk to suppress the feeling of guilt that will come out from what they have done during the day. Very bad people, both of them bad people, both commit atrocities. But one enjoys that, to them that's what you need to do. Another one does it but knows innately that it's the wrong thing to do. I think we got the point. And so now we have to talk more about the Benoni, incomplete. What is he? Is that the soul Rabbah? Abai said, Rebbe, you don't let people live. In other words, if you consider yourself Benoni, in-betweener, of course he's not in-betweener, really bad person and real good person. He would consider in between, at least between incomplete tzaddik and incomplete Rasha. I'm not so good, I'm not so bad, I'm kind of sometimes this. That's not what Rabbah meant. He meant something else, much more deeper conceptually. And that's what the section 2 of chapter 2 we'll try to talk tomorrow. So Boker Tov, wake up and smell the coffee, and we'll talk soon. Today's Thursday, so I guess I will say Shabbat Shalom. After Wednesday, from Wednesday on, Shabbat Shalom. Before Wednesday, Shavuot Tov. Today, February 1st, 2024. See you tomorrow in the morning. Work with your, if you can, work with your tzara. If you really have a good reason, you can't get out of bed because you work late and you have to take kids to school and this and that, well, that's understandable. No judgment. But if you just want to sleep for another hour or two, it's just pleasant. Maybe you can make an effort and come here. Certainly help the minion here. People can always use extra bodies, souls too. So hopefully see you tomorrow. Make an effort. That's what I think, ask Lubavitch Rebbe. Any one of the 7, especially the last one. Should you come to the morning Tanya class in the morning? He'll say, not 5:45, but 5:30. Remember, Rebbe says, if you did this, do it double. If you did double, do it quadruple. So take an example of Lubavitch Rebbe. If he was living here in Beersheba, I think he would be here this morning. And maybe he is with us spiritually. So, Shabbat Shalom. Talk tomorrow on Friday morning.